And welcome to Confessions of Middle-Aged Gamers. I am your host, Gangster Pigeon, and with me we have Shamewell.
Hello.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm alright. Can't grumble. Well, I can. Um,
It's what we do best.
it is, to be fair, Easter's done with. It only seems like a blink since Christmas. Sick of COVID. Um, I went out today. It was shit. Um, didn't accomplish anything that I actually wanted to do. And now it's out here.
Well, it could be worse. Your knob could have fallen off.
I mean, yeah, it could have. I mean, I wouldn't notice, but I mean, at least, do you know, people say that, I think, but in the grand scheme of things, if your knob just fell off, you would be weirded out. It would be an unusual occurrence if your knob just up sticks and fucks off.
Yes.
As in, like, how would it come off though? Would it just plop off and disappear? Like, or would it wither and die like a unloved plant?
I think the latter would be more plausible.
Or wither and die like an unloved plant?
Yeah, just kind of drop off like a withered branch,
Yeah.
twig.
I mean, it'd be freakier if it just dropped off and then scuttled away.
Became its, its whole...
So,
Right.
master, master of its own destiny.
Right. So before this perverse conversation carries on, introduction to this new channel. So, as the name suggests, Confessions of Middle-Aged Gamers, we are middle-aged gamers, and we are going to talk about various things. So, whether it's news of the day,
Back
random
pain.
bollocks that we come up with, either way, we'll be complaining about something. So, before we start our topic, a little word from our sponsor. So, this week's sponsor is Body Harvester's Medical Organ Collection Agency, for when you
Body
need to deliver
harvest.
your liver right now.
Want to sell some liver? Get on it. Get down to Body Harvest Medical Collection Agency. Motherfucker.
So, obviously, the news this week has been dominated by the death of the Lich.
All hail the Lich.
So, obviously, we are going to talk about a 50-something-year-old guy from Yorkshire, I think he
Mm-hmm.
was. So, in 1990, um, the guy had a run-in with a car-sized dog, and for the past, is it 20 years? No, 30 years. My maths is a bit off there. For the last 30 for the last 30 years, this guy has been trying to hunt down the werewolf that terrorized him.
A car-sized dog.
A car-sized dog.
I mean, it's hardly a hyena that escaped, is it?
No. I mean, the guy's a truck driver. He was probably off his face and saw a cow.
I saw a dog. What was it doing? Moo. I mean, I could understand it if you were driving. If it's like, I hit a cat. What cat was it? It was a big cat. Yeah, it was, Bengal. No, it was a fucking tiger. But I don't really think, when you think about it, there's not really any big dogs, is there?
No. So, the guy was obviously tripping. Or werewolves are real.
Either, well, I mean, what sort of werewolves are we talking here? Because are we talking like true lichens, or are we talking like werewolves that come out on the lunar cycle and go on a bit of a rampage, have some meat, and once the night's over, it's done?
I, I'm not sure actually.
I mean,
Uh,
I mean, you get hit by a what, 8 ton truck, 10 ton truck, it's going to cause some damage, isn't it?
yeah, I don't think he actually hit it. He just come across it. Um,
Okay,
but
it's
obviously he's
something
been,
you just come across.
yeah, he's been on one for the past 30 years.
I mean, he is a guy who probably pisses in a jug.
Maybe he started drinking his own piss jugs.
Maybe. I mean, it's got to be loaded with Pro Plus and shit like that. Is it a brand? I feel like that's a brand. So, just for the sake of it, there are other caffeine tablets available on the market.
We are not sponsored by Pro Plus. We do not
Nope.
advocate its use.
Nope. However, if you want to see werewolves, take a shit ton of it. It's not really good medical advice, that is it?
No, not really.
If you don't want to see a werewolf, don't take any. So, I mean, you just saw one.
So yeah, he saw one while he was out driving and decided, yes, that's definitely a werewolf. There's no other explanation for it, and spent 30 years hunting it.
I mean, if you're driving around Yorkshire, it could be any bloody deer. Or when you see the shape of something when you're out, you automatically don't go to werewolf. There are plenty of other animals that you go through before you settle on werewolf. Hell, I go for wolf before werewolf. That's a big dog. What is it? Coyote? Wolf?
I,
Then after it's a werewolf.
I think the fact that he thinks it was obviously car-sized. I mean, I can't think of any animal in Britain that is car-sized. But I mean, if it were me, I'd obviously be thinking, obviously,
I need to call the RSPCA.
the edibles have kicked in. Maybe I
Yeah,
should stop driving.
maybe. I mean, but these are truckers. They live on different times. They have deadlines to meet. You know, they have to push those tight deadlines and murder prostitutes from the truck. You know, how else are you gonna murder prostitutes if you're hunting werewolves? If anything, rogue truck drivers do the country a favour. How do we know that the countryside isn't infested with werewolves? And it's truckers that literally keep them.
So,
Yeah,
so what you're suggesting is a mass conspiracy that truck drivers secretly cull werewolf populations.
yeah.
Fair enough.
And I mean, as far as conspiracy theories go, it's pretty good.
It does make me want to become a truck driver.
You would be the worst truck driver ever.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
I have an excellent sense of direction and memory and
I mean, you don't own a driving license.
details. You know, I, just because I don't have a little piece of plastic that says I can drive doesn't mean that I can't drive.
True. I mean, that is very true. I mean, what is driving, really? Driving for me is getting in a car and having a breakdown until I reach my destination. Not a mechanical breakdown, an actual mental breakdown until I reach my destination. And when I first passed my test, people used to say to me, "Oh, you can get a car now, and you've got so much freedom. You can go anywhere. The world's your oyster." Do you know where I went? Tesco. The world is not my oyster. The world is a supermarket at the bottom of the street. And do you know what? I don't know if I could condone anyone to drive, really. It's just a waste of money. Because when you think about it, you just spend a lot of money.
Yes, you do. However, if you have crotch goblins like I do, it's very expensive to travel anywhere without a car.
It's very expensive to travel. Well, not to travel, it's just very expensive to do anything when you have got goblins, right? I mean, I'm just not allowed children, so I'm not a pedo. It's just I'm just not allowed children. Oh wait, is that the first mention of pedos?
I was just gonna say we're just past 10 minutes and already paedophilia has come into it.
Well,
Start as you mean to go on.
yeah. I mean, we did think about having the game, the wheel of suspected nonsense.
Yes, I do think that it could be a thing. We could introduce it.
Yeah, we could actually. I mean, maybe for next one we'll develop the wheel of nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, all we need to do is just look at casting list for the BBC.
1970, 1980. It's a pretty good show.
He was on Blue Peter in 1979. He's a nonce.
And the thing is, from them eras, I distinctly remember someone being on there called Peter Purvis. And it's not a name you want, is it? What's your name? Peter. Second name? Purvis. Pervert? No. Purvis. Pervert? For God's sake, I'm not a pervert.
Could be worse. He could be Peter File.
Could be Peter File. Could be Peter File. You just stole that from IT, correct?
So, moving away from nonces and back to werewolves.
I thought you were going to say bacteria then. Moving away from nonsense and bacteria.
If you shaved a werewolf,
Yeah. What would it look like?
We're talking about werewolves that change via the lunar cycle.
Okay. So
So,
this is another feature now that we're going to put in every week, which is if you shaved an animal, what would it look like?
well, not
No,
what would it look like, because obviously it just look like a large naked mole rat.
no, it looked like a weird dog-human hybrid that's
Really
shaved.
pissed off that you've just shaved it.
Yeah.
But if it is one of the lunar cycle werewolves and you shaved it, the next time it changed, would it have a full coat of fur, or would it still be shaved?
I reckon
Would it
this is
slowly grow back?
Yeah, it would be like you'd shave. Are we talking fully like a number one all over?
Yeah, I'm on about Beck, down to the
Yeah.
skin.
Right. Okay. Then in 4 weeks' time, there's going to be some growth back, whether it's a bit more than a buzz cut. It's. And the next lunar cycle, I'm going to say it's going to still be a little bit pissed off at you.
Yeah, I think it definitely would be pissed off. But
If you shave the werewolf,
because what I'm thinking is during the transformation, they go from no fur to fur.
Mm-hmm.
So they grow fur every time they change. So would it not just be you could shave it every lunar cycle and it'd come back full fur? Because if that's the case, and this guy is right, there are werewolves roaming about Yorkshire, we could make a fortune selling fur for wigs.
Yeah. Yes. We just need to go capture a werewolf.
Just shave it every month.
I mean, we know some very hairy dudes, but they not work.
I don't know. It's pretty greasy.
Greasy sort of dudes, to be fair. I mean, do you know one thing you don't see anymore? Right? The pubic wig.
Pubic. That's a
The,
thing.
the merkin. You never see the merkin anymore.
We don't have a. We don't need to anger that yet, do we?
I don't know.
No.
Okay. Yeah, you never see the pubic wig anymore.
I don't know. Why? Why would you need a pubic wig? Why would you
No.
want a? Why?
What if you like, I don't know, you couldn't grow pubes or wanted to be a bit. What if you wanted to buy alcohol and you wanted to prove that you were overage without ID?
I'm sure there are easier ways than check out my pube fro. I mean, that raises so many more questions than answers.
Can I see your ID? Just drop out.
Can I see your ID, sir? Sure. Check out my bush.
I cultivated it just for you. Wink.
So if you
Go
if
on.
if if, if pubic wigs are a thing,
They are a thing. It's a real thing.
I don't
Look it up on your smart box there. Type in Merkin. It's a real fucking thing.
I've got too many questions about these wigs. So, like, can you buy different style wigs? Could you buy like straight pubic hair wigs?
What? That it looks like Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Believe it or not, I'm not actually up on Merkin.
And
Like,
are pubic wigs made out of real pubes, or is it synthetic, or both?
or horse pubes.
Horse pube. Why horse pubes?
But people get horse wigs, don't they? You know, they get horsehair wigs.
Oh
It's
yeah,
only it's only a natural step to assume that
you could
you
have
have
horse
horse.
pubes.
Yeah,
Then you could turn around and say I'm hung like a horse.
yeah. They'd have to find it amongst the fucking mane of pubes. Imagine, right?
Right, how do you attach a pube wig? Does it have some sort of loop around the cock, or do, do you use like an adhesive, like some form of denture? What? Do you see? Yeah, I mean, presumably, if you are that desperate to have pubic hair that you want to buy horse hair and replace it, I presume you want it to be permanent. So, like, do they super glue it on?
I
Do
don't
they?
know. We've reached a stage in human evolution where people are kind of against pubes. I don't know at what point a company would survive by making pubic adhesive. See, right, in what situation, other than buying alcohol, do you think pubic hair would be an advantage?
Um, you're starring in a porno as a caveman, and you need some extra bush.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty greasy.
um, you could be you could be a cancer patient and you've lost all your pubes through radiotherapy and you're feeling a bit bad. So you think, I know, I'll just put a wig down there.
Yeah, or alopecia.
Yeah,
Um,
that got really weird.
well, yeah, I mean, there's alopecia, but I'm not entirely sure, like, whether if you've got alopecia, right, I'm going to throw it out there. If you've got cancer and you've had chemotherapy, I don't think having pubes is on your priority list.
Then I'm still at a loss of why there is a market for pubic wigs.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess what we'll do is we'll find out after the next show. Let's find out the purpose.
Maybe it's
Also, I don't know
maybe
what's
it's
the right in.
maybe it's gingers. You know, I mean, nobody
Where are
wants
you going with
ginger
this?
pubes,
Well, no, you're right,
so
but
they could shave them off and get some dark pubes.
yeah,
Or you could just dye them. Like there's too many steps in that.
yeah. Do you really want to put peroxide in your balls?
Maybe there's a market for pubic dye.
Probably. I mean, it's the same. Does the carpet match the cups or the curtain match the drapes? I don't know. It's like what perverts say to like people with different coloured hair. Oh, you've got green hair. Does the carpet match the drapes? I don't know. No, I've got green pet. I've got green pubes, and I look like a cucumber.
That is
And
a
my what?
really weird saying. Does the carpet match the drapes? Because like, have you ever been to a house where the carpets actually match the curtains?
No,
Exactly.
I don't really spend a lot of time looking at upholstery, and that's weird because I spend a lot of time looking at the floor.
Hanging your head in shame.
Yeah, I live with a level of shame that's usually hovering around 65%, and that's just for existing. But no, I mean, right. The question is: would you rather have synthetic pubes or someone else's pubes?
See, I I presume they'd wash them. Like it wouldn't just be like freshly shaven pubes and they'd just glue them straight on you. Like I
Some
mean that'd be a weird conversation.
hot off the press.
You just sat down next to some guy while they're shaving him, just gluing it on in bits with you. You're just like, yeah, mate.
Like, do you remember the Victorian era when they used to have like children that ran underneath like machines and gathered up cotton and shit
Right,
like that?
where are you going with this?
In a barber's, because you got have children that like ran across the bottom of the floor picking up the key.
Right, we're safe. I thought that was going somewhere else. Thought I was gonna have to stop you. We're 25 minutes in and I'm already getting nervous.
I mean, I don't really want to. I feel comfortable with synthetic pubes.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd be, even if I washed them, they'd still be painted.
that's it. Yeah, I think synthetic there'd be a lot more peace of mind, but would they feel right? I mean, have you ever felt synthetic wigs?
Um, yeah, the kind of nylon.
Yeah,
It's what I imagine stroking Cher would feel like
where are we going?
over here. Yeah, it's what I imagine stroking Cher would be like.
Well,
Um,
just her in general, not her. Just Cher feels like nylon.
no, I was on about stroking her hair. It wasn't creepy or anything. You made that creepy. Oh, let me stroke you, Sharon. Oh. I mean, I don't. Do you ever wonder what people smell like celebrities?
I can't say that I've ever really thought about it,
No.
but now I am.
Out.
Um, Probably should have been reading. Um,
Where's your body?
I think Cher would smell like plastic and depression.
No, that's what I smell like. Um, I think she'd smell like lavender.
What? Why lavender?
Lavender and minestrone soup.
Oh, any particular reason?
Well, she's old, for a start, and a lot of old people smell like minestrone soup. And um, I don't know. Just,
She's she's old, but the majority of her is plastic.
yeah.
So maybe
All right, then.
that would
Maybe she smells
maybe
like a
she
lilo.
maybe oh, maybe she just smell like old Tupperware that you find in old Tupperware that you find in the back of a cupboard somewhere.
What, stained by beans?
Yeah.
I don't know. She might smell like a lilo. Yeah. Like when you go on holiday and you buy something new from the shop, some sort like armband. I never smelled armbands, but I imagine armbands may smell like Cher. But um, I
Okay.
mean,
What
do you
would
reckon? Go on,
what would Madonna smell like?
desperation.
It's pure desperation.
I don't know. I never really thought what Madonna would smell like. I reckon she'd smell quite pleasant. You know when someone walks past you and they smell quite nice, and you go, "Huh, I remember that smell."
Don't know. There's not many times where I'm out in public sniffing people as they walk past me. It's just not usually a thing that happens.
Plus, no one ever walks past you and you go, "Oh, that's a pleasant smell."
No, not really.
Right, we need to spend more time appreciating smells because the amount of times that we don't appreciate smells, as in, like I've just demonstrated, if someone walks past you and you go, "Oh, they smell quite nice." The amount of times people walk past you and you go, "Oh, they smell like piss and shame," you'd take note of that.
Yes.
You know, you've got old Paul on the bus who's reeking with eczema and discharge and 3 day old whiskey. And and yeah, you know, 3 day old whiskey. What am I doing? I'm trying to lure someone away like a fucking sexual predator is. There you go. All good. Yeah,
So,
you don't. Go on.
no, go on.
Yeah, so you've got old Terry who shits himself on the bus on a regular basis. You know, you make a point of going, he smells like shit and shame. You never actually sit there and go, oh, that person smells quite nice.
But
They're having a good time in their life. They're at a good point in their life that they smell nice.
that's usually because people who smell nice, the smell doesn't really travel that far. However,
I don't know, have you been in
Paul
Devon
sat on the bus
often?
with shit in discharge. That sort of like seeps into the environment.
Okay, so you've never been walking behind an old woman in town and
Again, really worried where this is going.
it's a dumb murder on the cards or anything. It's just have you never been like walking behind an old woman and you can smell them for like ages in front because the perfume is so incredibly strong.
Yes.
Exactly. It's it's not offensive. It's not an offensive smell. I mean, comparable to shit and shame, it's quite a pleasant smell. This not a disclaimer that I go around sniffing Doris.
It really is at this point. At this
But
point, this week's message is we should sniff more people.
fine, I walk around town and sniff old women because I find it a pleasurable, happy experience. It reminds me of a time when I was young and had a grandparent.
You do
Yeah,
realise I'm going to take the audio from the first part of that sentence, and I'm gonna have a button that plays it every now and again.
but I like sniffing old ladies.
Yes, it's it's an opportunity I can't pass up.
I mean, the thing is, though, like, all right, when you go into a pub and you get a middle-aged bloke who has maybe put on a little bit too much brute or high karate or some other like um, amount of aftershave that you don't want to light a cigarette near them because the fear that they might go up in flames like Michael Jackson. And that's not a pleasant smell. That's a, whoa, dude, chill with the sex spray. Also, another point, you don't see adverts for deodorant
Yeah.
on TV, and it's always like, perfume adverts for women or deodorant adverts, they're all empowering. You too can smell like a goddess. And men's is all, you smell like me, you can get the girl. When in
And
reality, that's just not true, is it?
no, it's not. But I mean, perfume adverts, along with car adverts and aftershave adverts, they're always very, very confusing. I usually go through the
And what you're
entire
doing
advert.
in your pants.
I usually go through the entire advert and not know what I've just been sold. Just
I'm not being funny, like GP, but the narrative for an advert is pretty simple.
you'd think that until you sat there watching the TV screen and there's a car driving past and some guy with tight jeans and no top on, and then the guy walks past dressed as a fish that comes up to Giovanni, and that's it. It's like, okay, am I being sold the car, the fish costume? What? Are you
You
trying to
get
sell
your
me
adverts
chest
confused with
wax?
gay porn
What,
again.
what's going on?
Are you getting adverts confused with gay porn again?
It's, it's possible. I don't know.
Oh,
I forgot you can't fly away.
I appreciate some sort of aid. I, I gay pornography is not one of my fortes, but
Liar.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure that fish heads are probably not involved.
Um, I don't know. I think you can make fish heads erotic.
In what way can you make fish heads? I don't like where this is going. We're circling the drain again.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Werewolves.
I love
Um,
walking down the fish counter in Tesco and seeing the fish laid out and thinking, "Oh, I'm going to take that home." Would you like? Would you like the whole fish prepared? No, no, I don't want the fish, love. The head,
just, just the head.
just the head.
Come here, my little trout.
Is that your go-to fish?
Not for some reason it was the only fish I could think of. I don't even know if you can eat trout. I just
Yes, you can eat trout. It's not going to kill you. Quite good for you. But I'll never look at trout the same.
do you know do you know the worst part about it is I don't even know what a trout looks like. Just
It's a bit like a salmon.
to be honest, the majority of fish just look the same. They're just tiny flat things that swim around with dead eyes. And then some of them have sharp noses. That's about all I know about fish. Sharks are
Yup.
better.
Mm?
Sharks are the better fish.
I mean, sharks are pretty cool. But if I'm going to rip its head off and bang it, I don't want to bang a shark.
Yeah, I can see
They've
why.
got teeth.
2 rows of teeth.
I mean, if I'm going to bang anything, I don't really want to bang something that can potentially bite my cock off. But every time you have a blowjob, you're putting it into the lion's den, aren't you? We find it a pleasurable experience, but it's not, because when you think about it, the human mouth is covered in bacteria and they may bite your cock off at any minute.
I like to live dangerously. It's like a more dangerous version of that game with the crocodile teeth.
What game with the crocodile teeth?
It's a kid's game. You you've got a crocodile and you've got to push its teeth on um like Buckaroo. No, not like Buckaroo. Like Pop Up Pirate, where there was like a random one that made it pop out.
Crocodile head.
There's a crocodile and it's a head, and you push in the teeth, and then eventually one of them makes the mouth slam shut.
Okay.
Can't believe you've never seen that game.
No. Um,
Why? Why are you? Why?
I don't know. It's immune to everything I'm doing. Second plan of action. Leave.
You're gonna just have to die. Run away.
It'll eventually stop
Oh,
falling.
yeah. A big message comes up when you click that saying "Run away from the blazing trainer." So sprint.
What was we talking about? Oh yeah, that game that no one's ever heard of that you play with the children.
Yes.
Um, I've never heard of this game. I remember Pop-Up Pirate. I was wanted Pop-Up Pirate from parents would never buy it for me.
I had Pop-Up Pirate. I
Of
loved it.
course you did. Everybody had Pop-Up Pirate except me. Yeah, everyone had Pop-Up Pirate except me. Do you know what? One of our neighbours has a skip, okay, at the moment. Inside that skip is one of those blue shells, you know, that people used to have as kids, and one had water in and one had sand in.
No.
Really? Big plastic blue shell? And I never wanted one as a kid. But when I think about it, when I look at it, everyone I knew had one of these bloody shells. And I saw it in the skip today, and I got angry. I was like, of course I never had one. I never had anything. My parents treated me like pretzels, kids. You didn't. Just throwing that one out there. But when I think,
I was just laughing at the disclaimer. I wasn't abused.
if you're listening, Mum, you didn't abuse me. Kind of glad at that. But, you know, I had a Mr. Frosty, but my mum was too much of a skinflint to buy the refills for it. So I had a Mr. Frosty that just sat there depressed. And I looked at it in the cupboard every day. I want to be like those kids that was on TV playing with the Mr. Frosty. He's so fun. He's got drinks for everyone. No, he's not. He hasn't got drinks for me. I'm sat there watching it like a prick.
I did want a Mr. Frosty. I did. I didn't have one.
Sorry, I'm doing some sort of mental training with an hourglass.
Yeah, I've just done that. Asking
I
dogs
didn't do
bark.
it. Do giants tread lightly? Depends.
I need more context on this question.
Oh, I do need more context. It's asked me to giants tread lightly 4 times in a row.
Oh, oh dear. Never mind.
Is blood red? Depends. Is you're an octopus or not?
You could be Spock.
Yeah, it could be. It's voltinous.
In fact, do elves bleed red blood?
Um,
Because I didn't get that question, but I'm an elf.
yeah, I know. I don't know.
Yeah, well.
Well, you're 5 things ahead of me. Okay.
There you go.
So glad I've got AoE, mate. Can't tell that was sarcasm.
I have AoE, just no armor. Ow.
Um,
Can't
I don't know whether elves bleed blood red blood. Um, bleed blood red blood.
bleed
Crap.
blood. I can't even take the piss.
I know.
Bleed.
That bleed red. What? I don't even remember what I said. Bleed blood red blood. It just sounds like Mr. Blobby's.
Quick, Noel!
Can Mr. Blobby put his arms in the air? No,
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 that-
put your pants up. This isn't the time. Blobby, blobby, blobby.
Mr. Blobby has to be one of the most terrifying creations ever. I hate
Really?
him. I hate him. He's horrible. He terrifies me.
You've
If
never
that
told me about his fear of Mr. Blobby.
right, imagine. Right, you're some poor little kid, and then all of a sudden, some giant spotty thing comes running at you, going, fucking shit yourself.
Mr. Blobby was meant to be a figure of fun, not fear.
Well, did you know what? He wasn't. He was. He was pure terror in a pink suit. There was no need for that abomination to be created.
I mean, what's worse that he lived at Crinkly Bottom?
Yeah, living with Noel, he definitely had a crinkly bottom.
That sounds like he's been bummed at a seaman's private. Like he's been in the bath too long.
Been locked away in a shower. Being repeatedly abused by Noel.
Blobby, blobby, blobby.
Before he started that show, he could talk.
So you're saying Mr. Blobby is just a form of PTSD?
Exactly. Doesn't know how to communicate anymore.
Just talk to a series of blobbies.
Right. After that abomination, I think we will say goodbye.
Yes. I'd say it's been a pleasure, but it's been barely adequate.
Right. Grumpy 1 and Grumpy 2. Catch you next time.